Hi everybody, so I'm here already with the June Makeup and Beauty roundup. So another very packed month, not quite as massive and colossal as last month's video, which had to be split into two. I'm hoping this one won't be that bad, but still plenty of products to show you. I have tested an awful lot and I'll be showing you everything that I've tested and giving you my thoughts, unless I test them very late in the month, in which case they'll come up in July. And some of the things you'll see here I tested sort of late towards the end of May. I just need to give them enough time before I give you this review. So I'm really looking forward to showing you or talking to you about everything I've tried this month. And it's been another fantastic month with lots of really good products. We really are getting so many releases, but they are just so good. The quality is so good. So it's cherry picking the ones that you want to buy or that might be missing in your collection, because there are so many options. But anyway, that's why I'm hoping these videos are helpful to you. So I'm going to be talking about everything I've tried in the month of June, and some of it will be the end of May, and some of it also won't be in this one, it'll be in July, because I've tested them far too recently for me to give you a really good sort of review on them. So they'll be coming up next month. If you miss products that you know I've reviewed, they're just not in this video because I want to extend it to the July review. So anyway, if you're new here, hi, my name's Hannah, I'm 48, I'm not a professional, I'm just somebody who really loves makeup and beauty, and here on my channel I like to show you the latest releases, some of my favourite looks, and give you beauty news you might be interested in. If you think you'd enjoy this content, I do upload here regularly, and I would absolutely love it if you subscribe to my channel. But if you're already subscribed, welcome back. I really appreciate every single one of you for being here. Anyway, that is enough about me. Let's dive straight into the June review. So I'm just going to talk about one clothes item before we move straight into skincare, and that is some trousers I bought from Skims. So in the past month I've bought a few things from Skims. I've actually loved everything, but I specifically wanted to mention these trousers. So these are the Skims straight leg trousers, and I got mine in the shades Black and Harbour. So Harbour's almost like a sort of denimish blue, or petrol blue I think, and then black. And let me tell you, I started off with one pair in black, I went back and got a backup of the black, and then I got the Harbour as well, because I don't think I've worn trousers as much as I've worn those. I have been living in them. They are quite sort of fitted around, certainly because I am quite well built and I am that sort of pear shape in the middle, so I have quite a generous size. So for you they might not be quite as fitted, but they are quite fitted around the top section. They do flow out a little bit, but they are so lightweight. I just feel like I'm not wearing anything basically, but they're also flattering. And I've worn these with smarter tops and I've worn them with more casual tops. I wouldn't say they'd be for going out anywhere special or anything like that, but for around the house and for popping in and out doing things, they look fabulous. These are the trousers I'll be taking on holiday with me to wear on the plane, because I can't think of anything more comfortable. So everything else I've tried from Skims so far I've really enjoyed, apart from I did get some bras which I thought were a bit stiff. I know everyone tends to love their bras, but I didn't love them. I did get one that was actually strapless, which is quite good, so I'm going to try that one out more on holiday. But those are the standouts for me, those trousers. I did get a sort of loungewear outfit, so that was very, very nice as well, but I won't talk about that now because that's more sort of what I'd be wearing in the autumn winter period. But anyway, just wanted to mention those trousers because they are so good. And the fabric on those, by the way, is a cotton jersey fabric. So now let's move straight into skincare. Just a couple of things to show you here. So I was sent this actually from Benefit. This is the POREfessional Tight and Toned Pore Refining AHA and PHA Toning Foam. So I tested this out, not expecting an awful lot, because usually when I try anything like this, it will disturb my makeup that day unless I wash it off. So what I tend to do is I use a product like this, then I use my Zip, then I wash my face off, and that's absolutely fine. But if I use a product like this and then go in with my skincare and makeup, there's something in this sort of product that always seems to disturb my makeup. But I wanted to talk to you about this one because this one hasn't been. I haven't tested it with every type of makeup, I've tested it with quite a lot. This is quite unique with it being a foam. It's a very, oh, you can see there, it's a very wet foam. And when you use this, it's just a way of sort of gently exfoliating the skin. And it's a really good thing to do, especially in the sort of nose and T-zone areas, and especially at this time of year if you're like me and you get trouble with makeup not sitting very well in that area of the face. So I always use something like this every day, and I've been using this one quite often now, and I've been using this under makeup without washing it off. So this is something I can put on after I've done my zip, or if it's on one of the days I don't use my zip. So it's something that can just fit into my routine in any possible way. So I'm really enjoying it, and I think it works very, very nicely. So that was a nice discovery, so thank you to Benefit for sending that to me. And I also got these from Prai. Now Prai do send me products every month to try, and I tend to always add them into my rotation. That's how good Prai Beauty is for me. And these two are real standouts. So I've been using this one together with this on the days when I don't use vitamin C. So this one is the Ageless Even Glow with Niacinamide. So this for me does a similar thing to the properties of vitamin C, which for me is very much about pigmentation and brightening the skin. So I wouldn't use this with vitamin C, I'd use one or the other. And again, with products like this, they can sometimes disturb makeup, but this one hasn't been doing that. You can use this one AM and PM. I wouldn't personally use this one in the evening because I use tretinoin. I can use it on the nights I don't use tretinoin, but I tend to keep it in my morning routine. And this has a beautiful smell, which is usually the case with all Prai skincare actually. It's very lightweight, and then it's just packed full of those brightening ingredients. And actually this combination of these two together has been quite a winner for me. So starting with this and then going in with this one secondly. Sorry, I always start with a milky toner. So this, then a milky toner, then this. And Prai Beauty also give me a discount code for you, which I think is 25% off. So I'll put that on the screen now. Hopefully it's 25 anyway. And the other thing they sent me, which I tested, which I've tested before, but I wanted to bring it to your attention, you may have seen me film a shorts reel on this one, is the, what's it called, the lip and line filler, which I think is an amazing product. So if you've got lines, which for me I do have here, and you want to blur them before applying your makeup, this is the product, because this is so very, very good. Now the reason that I want to show you this, and it's a new product, is it's a new version of this one, which is basically exactly the same ingredients, but they've doubled the amount of product without increasing the price. Because when they first brought this out, everyone was complaining about the amount of product, which is 4 milliliters you've got in this pen. Now we're getting 8 in this one, even though they look such a similar size. So now it's not a pen, the other one was more of a pen. This is more of that sort of standard applicator that we're all used to, a bit like a sort of lip balm. So you can just pop a little bit here and then pat it into the areas you want to fill. I've also been using it here where I want to sort of fill those lines. I either do that, or I use some sort of, well actually I've been using my Tatcha, the Velvet Protective Primer is my other one. So I use different things to try to fill, but I find the Tatcha is good for that, but I find this is even better for me. Oh sorry, the old one I said was a pen. It actually had the same sort of thing, but it had this twist up, which is, I won't do it now because I don't want to waste the product, so I still have a bit of that left. Anyway, I've got 2 of those now, which is very good, but I haven't run out of the other one because I don't use it all the time. It's just when I want to, when I remember actually, but when I do, I love it. So I think of it more when I want a sort of perfect look. So that's it for skincare. Now moving into makeup and a concealer, which I've absolutely fallen in love with. My most used concealer so far of this year. The one I will 100% be taking on holiday with me. And this is the one from Tarte. This is the Shape Tape Blur. So I've got this in the shade 12B, which is Fair Beige. And this has been my perfect shade actually. It's quite a brightening shade, but it's also good for using all over the face. This is so serum-like, and it's advertised as being a mature skin concealer, and it absolutely is. It's very serum-like. A lot of people find the shape on this odd, but it absolutely doesn't bother me in the slightest. I take it to the fine tip there, slot it into the very corner of my eye, and then roll it under. And this is the only concealer I can go straight into that corner of the eye where I've got the most sensitive lines that are terrible with concealer. This is the only one I can do that with without worrying about it caking and getting into the lines. It just gets absorbed by my skin. It is beautiful. I get on so well with it everywhere on the face. It's so quick and easy as well. It just goes in a flash. Even if you forget to pat it in before you powder, it's still not an issue. It's just one of the most flexible, fantastic mature skin friendly concealers I've ever come across, and it is so easy, and anywhere on the face that you use it. I like to use it for chiseling, and when it's this sort of stick, it's quite good for chiseling here and here, and for going down the nose. It's a really good shape for it. I will 100% be repurchasing this, and I'm whizzing my way through it because I love it. And as I said, this is coming on holiday as my only concealer. That's all I need. And the other concealer I tested this month is this one from Tarte. So this one is a double-ended concealer. So we have a sort of standard concealer here in the bottom, and this one is very good as well. This one absorbs quite easily, mature skin friendly, fairly long lasting, doesn't cake up, gives good coverage, a little bit more coverage maybe than the one I've just shown you, but not full coverage, I wouldn't say. This is very good. It seems to work everywhere well on the face. This does anyway. The problem I've had with it is that this tip, which I thought was a brilliant idea, is the other end of the concealer. I thought this was going to be amazing for running it like down the nose, and like I said with the one from Tarte, it's just so easy when it's a stick. But this one does not sit well under makeup for me. This one does end up looking cakey, so I don't like this end. So it was a disappointment for me because I thought it was a fabulous idea, or just do a couple of dots under the eyes and use the stick everywhere else, but it doesn't really work for me. But the concealer is good. It is a good concealer, so you might want to get it just for this concealer here. But the double aspect wasn't that impressive, so I don't think I'd ever go back and get another one. And I wouldn't say the concealer is my favourite, but it's good, it does work. I can't criticise it really, in all honesty. And my shade, by the way, is 1N in this one. It's also very good value, so you can't really go wrong with Tarte prices. Their products are very good, let's face it. Now for a foundation which is already in my travel bag. I've got my travel bag to the right of me because I've already started putting things in it, but I'm having to dip back in to show you today. So the fact that it's in there shall tell you exactly how I feel about this one. And this is this incredible cushion foundation I tested this month from Dior. A foundation which I wasn't sure if it was new, reformulated. I've had lots of feedback from you, so thank you for that, because I did ask you for it. And I still don't really know the facts on this one. What I do know now is that on the UK website, we had this maybe a year, 2 years ago, and it's still there now, but saying out of stock, and we had it in 4 shades. I think that is also the same case for the US, the French market. I can't remember, lots of places had these 4 shades in this foundation, and they're all saying out of stock on the websites I checked anyway. So in the UK and US are saying that. So this came out as a new launch on, I think it was Selfridges, and just with 2 shades. And these 2 shades are not 2 of the 4 that are listed on the current out of stock ones on Dior. So I don't know if they've just added 2 shades to the range, but they haven't brought back the other 4, which seems utterly bizarre. And I also don't know if it's a reformulation, but I have to say this is incredible. So if by any chance you can get your hands on this, whether it's in the original shades or whether and they happen to work for you, or whether it's in this one, which for me is 1N, which is very convenient because 1N works for me, so I was lucky. Obviously the packaging on this is very hard to show on camera with my lights, but it is really, really beautiful packaging. And it's got a sort of gold shift. Oh, you can see it a bit there, can't you? And then it is refillable, I believe. So that's something that's quite good because this one's nearly £100. So it comes with a cushion, as they always do, which I would only use for touch-ups throughout the day, not application. I did try it for application, not so good for that. And then here we have the actual cushion inside. Very strong Dior fragrance. This just applies like the most beautiful skincare you've ever put on your face. This has, I think it said, was it 500 rose petals crushed into it? It is just beautiful. You just feel like you're putting on refreshing, hydrating, gorgeous skincare, but also as a makeup, as a foundation base, this just melts in. It's so quick and easy to apply, and I adore it. And every time I've worn this, I've had compliments. So that was a massive, massive hit. And the full title of that is the Dior Le Cushion Teint de Rose. So I do hope we get more shades, and I do hope we get more availability, because if you want to treat yourself, I don't think there's anything much better out there. It is very glowy though, and a few of you did say you wouldn't buy it for that reason, which is absolutely fair. If you don't like a product that has quite a strong glow, you probably wouldn't like that one. So another foundation I tried out this month was the Tarte Mask Fit Red Foundation. So this is pretty much the liquid version of the cushion. It's not completely the same, there are some differences, but it's very similar and it's very much inspired by it. But this one I feel is a little bit less coverage maybe than the cushion, I think, but still very strong coverage and still goes on very beautifully. So this worked out very well for me. This does give a lot of coverage with the Tarte products. That is something they are well known for. They do have good longevity. I've always been impressed by the Tarte range. The Tarte Red cushion is a fantastic cushion foundation. And if you really want to get that good coverage to last you throughout the whole day, if you're somebody like a shift worker and you maybe do a 12-hour shift and you still want to know your makeup's there at the end of your shift, Tarte is a good brand for that. It's also a super affordable brand. So this one, very good. And one of the tips I saw is if you have the cushion, you can tip a little bit of this into the cushion to refresh it and use it that way. So that might be an easier way of taking it to work. If you've got the bottle, just put a little bit of this into your cushion foundation if it's starting to run out, and you can just use it that way. I haven't tried it, but I do love the idea of that tip. And it's just super affordable. So I tried this alongside that concealer, but I would say this is the better product out of the two, and it is very, very good. And if you did like the cushion, you will like this. Excellent coverage and not cakey and very mature skin friendly. So another product I tried was this one from Lancôme. This is their skin tint. This is the Lancôme Idôle 3 Serum Super Tint. This one was just okay for me. I wouldn't say it's a bad skin tint, it's just okay, and I can't really say an awful lot else, but I will tell you I have not reached for this after testing it. I don't think I would. I think I've got much nicer skin tints in my collection. I think it wore reasonably well. It gave a tiny bit of coverage, it corrected a little bit, but if I was going to compare it to something like the Lisa Eldridge, which I would easily give a 10 out of 10, if you know me, that is my favourite skin tint. This way I'd probably give like a sort of 7, so it's not bad, but it's nowhere near as good as top 10. So that's all I'll say about this one. It's a good one, but it's not the best in my personal opinion, and I don't see me reaching for it much, to be honest. So now on to another skin tint, and this is the one from e.l.f. So the full title being the e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint. And this one has SPF 50, and it does actually say the word sunscreen, but you can't really get enough of this on to make it your sunscreen. So it's more of a top up, but a very good top up. Now what impressed me the most about this was just how much coverage I got from it. This is probably the most high coverage skin tint I've ever tried, and it is very lightweight. So I don't really notice it if I've got a light layer, and it's very comfortable. It's quite refreshing to wear. It does correct, but it gives an awful lot of coverage, and it lasted well and it wore well. So the only gripe I had with this was they were charging £18 for this, whereas their fabulous satin foundation is still only £8. So I didn't really understand the sudden huge leap in price when this is supposed to be such an affordable brand, and we're starting to pay that sort of middle of the road price. So I don't know about that, but I certainly prefer this to the Lancôme. My beef with this one though is the shades, because the shades I got, I've gone for 1 and 6, which seems like a huge leap, I know, but 1 was fair neutral, and the next cool, I can't remember, I think there might have been a cool one I could have gone for around the 3 to 4. But this one looked like it would work for me, and that's 6, which is light cool. So I've got a fair and a light. So when I tried light cool in 6, it's a bit too deep. I'll show you actually. Let me just give it a shake up before I open it. So here is the fair, and for some reason the fair seems a lot more runny than the cool, which I find really strange. Can you see that? When I tried this one, it sort of tipped down my clothes because I was so surprised by how runny it was. So it seems something very odd about the fact that one is very different to the other, because I've just shook them up in exactly the same way. But anyway, this one was a bit too pale, made me slightly ghost-like, and then this one is too deep. So my solution, and also I don't think it looks cool, it's very yellow. But anyway, my solution is to put a bit of this, sort of, I'd say a quarter of this into this, and then I roughly get, I mean that's half and half there, that's not showing you the shade. But if I do sort of quarter of the deeper with the lightest, I get roughly the right shade, but it's still a bit too warm. So the cool just looks quite yellow, which I think you've probably just noticed. So I shouldn't have to mix two together, and that's also happened to me with their satin foundation. Now when the prices are just £8, I think that's really not too bad. and I did find mixing two of those together I got a better shade match for me, but these two are still not the perfect shade match. On its own 6 is too dark for me, and on its own 1 is, I can get away with it because it's too light for me, but I can bronze it up, which is easier than when something's too dark. So I can sort of use them, and I have, and I'm not going to quite put them away. I will still dip into them, I think, but I don't see them being a favourite. They would just be that sort of everyday use, but I wouldn't buy them again, if you know what I mean. But I'd probably reach for them more than I would that Lancôme, which I don't see me reaching for again. So now onto a bronzer, and I'm going into my pot on my right, which should tell you it's already gone into my rotation, and that is this one from Makeup by Mario. This is the SOFTSCULPT Blurring Bronzer in the shade Light. Firstly, it's the perfect bronzing tone for my complexion. It's a really, really good match for me. It's the right sort of level of cool and the right sort of shade, the level of bronze pigment, so it's not too pigmented. It is a very natural colour on me. It is very soft and blurring. You don't get any patchiness. It's so complimentary on the skin, and if you use this with a blurring blush, which I have done, it gives you the best combination. It really does. I have used this probably the most out of any bronzer I have tested recently. It's sitting on my desk, and I've got quite a few sitting on my desk at the moment. I think I've got about 3. This is the one I'm reaching for the most, the one I want to use the most, and the one that will be coming on holiday with me, absolutely. So now straight to blushes, and the most beautiful blush as far as I'm concerned that has launched this year, and that is this one from Dior. So this was a relaunch, a reformulation of the Dior Backstage Rosy Glow blushes. The one I'm showing you right now is in the shade Candy, but I've got so many of these shades. I'm not going to get them all out and show you them now. You can look at my review if you want to see a full review, seeing them all being tried on. But every single one of these I absolutely love, and this is the first time that Dior have reformulated them where they've actually done what they said, well, what we wanted rather, which is to bring us the pigment. So these are glowy and these are blurring, so you can still see the bronzer there on my hand. So when I said if you use the bronzer from Mario with a blurring blush, these two, if you want the most perfected skin. I mean, I got a comment more than once, in fact this week, saying that I filtered my photo, and I haven't. I'm wearing this with that bronzer because it acts like a filter, because it just blurs everything, the two together. But the winning combination for me with these blushes is when you add the stick on top. So here's Candy. So if you add I've only been adding the same shade on top because that is how I like to wear it. So here's Candy on its own, and then I've just got it slightly on top because I couldn't see what I was doing there. Look at that, isn't it beautiful? But when it goes on top of the powder, which you can't really appreciate now, but when it does, see my demonstration, because showing you on my hand is pointless. I just remembered I actually filmed a demonstration of this, so here is that clip for you. So I've got the new Dior Backstage Rosy Glow Stick and Glow Blush, so the powder and the more cream finish. I'm going to put both together, and this is in the shade Candy. Here's Candy, and you can see the shimmer in this. It's definitely got a bit of a glitter. It's quite a strong shade for my fair skin, so I'm going to be quite careful in my application using a fluffy blush brush. I've got the Repper Holiday brush here. So I'm going to apply this to the cheeks, going on top of powder, slightly taking it into the eye, because I'm actually going to try this today on the eyes, so it'll be a full candy look for eyes and cheeks. Blends out absolutely beautifully, plenty of pigment like I said, so you have to be careful if you're fair skinned, but if you've got a deeper skin tone to mine, I think you'll get on very well with this. You can really build it up to something quite strong. That's just a tiny tap more. Look how much I've got already. This is going to work on fair skin tones if you're careful. It's going to work on warm undertones the best. I've got cool undertones, but I can just about get away with it because I do lean a bit neutral. So neutral / warm undertones I think will love this, and it's got a very strong glittery finish that runs all the way through it, almost like a bit of a gold. So now taking it on the eyes, I've just put a bit of bronzer into my crease and under the waterline off camera, and now I'm going to take Candy into the crease, into the outer V, and all across the lid. And that is Candy across the eyes. Can you see the shimmer? And that is how Candy looks with eyeliner and mascara added. So now let's go in with the glow stick in Candy. Loving the packaging on these new glow sticks. So here is the glow stick compared with the powder there. And the way I'm loving applying these is just taking a little bit on the brush and tapping it almost like a highlighter on the higher point of the cheek, and then just blending it out using my Rephr brush. It's the LCO2. Connect with the eye because we're all the same shades, and it's just going to blend in beautifully. And it just gives you that lovely pop, a little bit more pigment, a little bit more glow, and it's the perfect combination. No highlighter needed here. This is giving me all the glow I need, just the right amount, and applying powder then the glow stick seems to be the perfect sort of finish for my mature skin. I've tried it all the different ways, and this is the way that works the best for me. I'm going to take a little bit of this, I think, across the lips today. I already had the Charlotte Tilbury lip duo in Fair, so I've just taken a little bit of that on top, and I think it looks beautiful actually. What do you think? I've got the new Lip Glow Butter in the shade Glazed Pink, which I'm just going to pop across the top. So there is my full Candy look. What do you think? When it goes on top of the powder, I use it on the tip of my cheek as a sort of glowy highlight and a bit more pop of colour. Oh, it is absolutely gorgeous. I love that combination. If you want more longevity from these sticks, put them underneath and then powder, then go in with a powder blush, then go in with this. Or you could skip the powder blush and just go in with this, but that's certainly a good way of locking it in, because these won't last terribly long. These are quite sheer as well. They're not quite as pigmented as some of the other ones that have been launched recently. But for me, they are now officially, I've decided, my favourite blush sticks. I love them. And that combination with the powders. I've got 2 of them already sitting here in my travel bag. So I've got the pink with the pink, which I'll be taking on holiday. And I've got the toffee with the toffee stick. Those are my 2 current favourites. The lilac is also a favourite, but that's going to be more sort of autumn winter shade for me, I think. But Candy, which I just showed you, is also gorgeous, and the other one I got was Rosewood. That one is also beautiful. But my top picks would be toffee, pink, then lilac. So this is a late review. This is the Chanel blush sticks, which I said I would leave until this month because I haven't had enough time to go back and review them. So I have used these a few times, and this one here is the one I've probably used the most because it just works with more looks, which is Refresh. Even though my favourite out of the 2 I got, and I think these were the only 2 that launched with this collection, is Reset, which is a colour I didn't think I'd like because it's quite orange, but as a summer colour it is very nice. But I think the problem these have is that Dior launched their blush sticks, and these just got so forgotten, and I haven't wanted to go back to them. So whilst I like them, they're just okay now. I wouldn't say well, I do think they're very nice. They're more of a matte finish than they are matte, but they're certainly not that glowy finish that we're getting from Dior. They have reasonable longevity. They're very easy to work with. The formula is perfect. So if you like the colours, if you want a bit less glow, you can't go wrong with these. And I know that they've launched other shades before which were available and maybe still on other websites. So if you like any of these colours and you think that the Dior and the new Charlotte Tilbury, for instance, are too glowy, this is definitely a better option. But for me personally, these have almost become forgotten because the Dior ones came along, and I just don't want to reach for these, to be honest. So talking of glow sticks again, we had the Charlotte Tilbury Unreal glow sticks. So when I reviewed these, I did say, are these better than the Dior? I think I could prefer them to the Dior. So, and that's because I thought they looked absolutely stunning, because they really are stunning. But I have gone on to test them side by side with Dior, and I can confirm these are not better than Dior in my personal opinion. I think they are a close second. And here is a clip of me making that comparison. Today I'm going to compare Rosewood from Dior with Rosy Glow from Charlotte Tilbury. This is Rosewood and this is Rosy Glow. So Dior, Charlotte Tilbury. And I'm going to put both of them directly onto foundation today. So this is the Dior. That's how it looks after one light layer, and now I'll put the Charlotte Tilbury on. Straight away I'm seeing a lot more pigment from the Charlotte Tilbury than the Dior with that first layer. So there we have Dior and Charlotte Tilbury, a light layer, but I'm going to powder on top of these now and see how these look on top of powder. Taking the Dior on the brush and now taking it on top of powder where you'll see it pop quite a bit more. Still quick and easy to blend out on top of powder, but still giving me that glow. Now for the Charlotte Tilbury. Again, we get that pop of colour going on top of the powder. Definitely a bit more pigment generally from these Charlotte Tilbury blush sticks. And the tackiness with both on top of powder, I'd say there's a tiny bit more tackiness on the Dior side, but it's quite minimal. So which side do you prefer? Is it the Dior side? Or is it the Charlotte Tilbury? I don't know if these are just a tie for me. They are both fabulous. But these shades are pretty similar, so I don't think you'd need both. What do you think? But they are different. These ones are definitely more pigmented. You'll see now just how much pigment you get with this one, which is the Rosy Glow. They are very glowy, they blend out very easily. I think with these you're getting more for your money because they do have more longevity than Dior, which is very good, and they have more pigment. So you use less and you're less likely to want to top up during the day. So I think they're probably better value for money, and I think the cases are very nice, but I think the Dior cases definitely beat them. I think that they're so pretty. I love the way they're sort of, you can see through to the style, and then you can see the Dior logo on the actual in a case. I think it is beautiful, but these are still very nice. These are very good. They're a close second, but these ones aren't quite as sheer and natural and beautiful as the Dior in my opinion. But if you want one that's more reliable for longevity and more pigment, this is the next option. I will probably rotate between these and Dior throughout the summer though, because they are very good, but they won't be coming on holiday with me. I'm definitely taking my Dior. And I tried this eyeshadow palette from Makeup Forever. This is the Artist to Go palette. So I've never bought any of these before. This was the first colour story that really made me think I wanted to try it. I love the fact that you get the full colour story on the top, so you know exactly what you're reaching for. And this one is Boundless Berry, which is a very popular shade from Makeup Forever. And here are the shades here. Again, this is not a wow product for me. It's an okay product. Certainly when I did a look with this, I got a lot of people asking me what I had on my eyes. These are the two shimmers from that. You can see they do swatch very nicely. They're very easy to apply. They're long wearing. There's nothing bad I can say about this. Look at the matte there, how well that's swatched. They're very high quality formulas. It's very good. And I like this shade actually, this slightly warm matte. It is a very nice colour story. I think we've just had so many gorgeous eyeshadows launch recently. It's hard to really remember ones unless they stand out a lot. So for me, this one, it doesn't stand out a lot. But if this is a colour story you like, I would highly recommend it because it's very easy, the mattes are very easy to work with. They blend out beautifully. You can line with this one, you can inner corner and under the brow with this one. You can do a sort of one and dones with the shimmers. It's very nice. I can't say anything bad about it. It's very pretty. Maybe I need to use it again and remind myself how pretty it is. It's not something I would put away and never want to use again, but it's just a little bit forgotten in all honesty because we've had so many beauties coming out that I've wanted to reach for more. And one of those beauties, which has been a massive surprise for me, is a brand I've almost avoided purchasing from because I've heard really negative things about the brand in all honesty. No, don't want to go down that road here, but I've heard a lot of negative things about Morphe and I didn't really want to dip a toe into the brand, to be honest, but I'm sitting here with the Morphe sponge, which has become my favourite makeup sponge. I absolutely love these sponges. You can put your finger in there and I use it to tap off excess. It's my most used sponge at the moment. So I'm also sitting here with a brush from Morphe. I do really like their latest brushes. So they've really started, in other words, they've been catching my eye enough to think, oh, I'll test these, but should I show you them? Are you going to be interested? will you all shout at me for showing you Morphe because you don't like the brand? I just don't know how you'd feel about seeing them, and I didn't know there'd be any interest, but these eyeshadow palettes are too good for me not to show you them. So all of these come with quite pretty colours on the top, so you can see exactly which one's which because they're all very different, so you can really see the colour story. And this one is one of my favourites. This one is Python Code, and this was the one that made me think I had to try these because look at how pretty this is. And with these middle ones, they're used as more topper shades, and you can apply it with a brush for a very light sort of effect. You can apply it with a wet brush for an incredibly big effect, and you can apply it with your fingers for sort of in the middle effect if you like. So there they are. And this is a topper. I mean, this one is, for me, it'll actually give you full coverage. And this green as well is beautiful. They're not overly pigmented, they're not like sort of Pat McGrath level pigment, but I found that the mattes work beautifully and the shimmers work beautifully. And here's the matte. Look how that swatch, that first swatch there from the brown matte. And this particular colour story is just so beautiful. And the look that I got the most requests about was when I did a halo eye, and I used this sort of bluey green on the outer edges of the halo eye, and I used this here in the centre. So that's this one here and this one here. And then I used this one in the inner corner. And it was literally the look most people said, what have you got on your eyes? And I think a lot of people were quite stunned when I said Morphe. So if you missed any of my videos that have gone out showing you me trying those on, I'll actually play them back to back because I filmed 3 of them. So here they are, the 3 Morphe videos for you. So now something I should have talked about earlier, for some reason it's on my list amongst the eyeshadows. This is driving me mad and I didn't even notice it until I finished filming, so please, now I've alerted you to it, try and ignore it. And that was something from Makeup Forever, which I got the same time that I got this. They launched a similar time, and that is their new crayons. So these are their artist colour crayons, which you can use for different purposes. They've got a huge colour range, and these I really do like very much. So I got this shade here. Which one is this called? It's Luminous Taupe, and this is a really good shade for me to use as contour and bronzer. The shape of this crayon, you have a sort of fine tip, so you can take it around the edge of the lip and you can take it around the nose, and then you can sweep it more in a more thick line to do contour, a bit of bronze, and also it works as a really good eyeshadow. I've tried it for all of those. This has actually stayed on my desk and I've used it quite regularly as my contour before I go in with powder. And it's very easy to apply. It blends out incredibly easily. They do say you can use it for lips, eyes and face. So you have these multi-purposes. And this one again is really beautiful. For me, this isn't really a multi-purpose. This is one of their shimmers. This is the Sparkling Quartz. And this one I was using as a highlighter. Now this could work well on the eyes, I suppose. I haven't tried it on the eyes, but I only like this as a highlighter. But it is an absolutely beautiful highlighter. It's very, very pretty. It's actually quite mature skin friendly for a sparkly formula like this. In fact, it is very mature skin friendly. You'll find them so easy to work with. A lot of people might think when they see the word artist, you have to be a makeup artist to even know what to do with these. I think that you should look at them very differently. These are so easy. And you can just swipe them onto your face, or you can put it onto the back of your hand and take a brush and use them. They just melt on with your makeup. They can go on top of powder, they can go on top of creams. They work fabulously, they really do. And they do say not to put the sparkly ones on the lips, by the way, even though I did, but they say not to. And this was the other one I picked up, probably the one I liked the least out of the three I tried, but I still liked it. And this shade is, for me, a blush shade. Obviously, you can look at the shades and think, what would I use them for, and buy them to use exactly the way you'd like. So for some people, you might think a certain shade works as a bronzer, or a certain shade works well for eyes, whichever. You can just do whatever you like with these. So there is the blush shade I got there, and this one is Swanky Mauve, and again this blends it out beautifully. But this one does not work well on top of powder, and that's actually one of the main reasons I don't like it. Whereas the highlighter worked very well on top of powder. For some reason this one was terrible on top of powder, and it actually removed my makeup, so I forgot that that was the bad thing about that one. Whereas this, I suppose I haven't actually used the taupe on top of powder because I only put it under, and because it's the same formula I would imagine it's the same issue, but the highlight formula worked fine. So anyway, they're my standouts for contouring and highlighting. I don't think I'd go back and get any more for blush. But these do work well as lip liners and lipsticks, so that's something you can do. So, and I do like to use a cream or liquid formula before I powder, so I certainly would use this, but I don't think I'd get more, because I do like a stick that can do both, like the Dior and the Charlotte Tilbury and the one I showed you from Chanel. They all do work on top of powder very well. And then we had Desert Gleam from Lisa Eldridge, which I like, but it's definitely not my favourite from Lisa. It's just, I don't think it's really anything wrong with the palette. I just think for my type of complexion, this isn't the most perfect colour story, and I think that's really what it's about. I really find this gold too much for me. And the khaki green is too sort of like a muddy, it is a true khaki to be fair. Lisa's got these colours spot on, but it is a sort of muddy khaki, and it just doesn't show up much. And you can see there, I wanted a little bit more green from that. We've had some really nice green palettes, and for me this wasn't, I think some people might see this as a green palette, but it really isn't. It's not, it's that only that khaki shade. And this is the one here, which works really as more of a topper, I'd say. But the shade that stood out for me is this one. I really like this shade. I think this one would be a very nice one and done shade. It's very pretty here. But generally the whole palette, it's just, it doesn't swatch very nicely. It's not very impactful, and they're not my favourite colours. I'll just swatch that darker matte just so you can see it. That one has more pigment obviously, and that's quite a nice liner shade. But it's just not my favourite from Lisa. But that's personal. If you like those colours, you'll find them very easy to work with. The formulas are always very easy, they're buildable, they're quite gentle, they're not over the top. I do like a little bit more pigment and a bit more shimmer normally, but then I've just shown you the Morphe, and they're probably quite similar, the Morphe, in the way that they are giving less pigment, and you build them up and you have to wet the brush to get more, and I love those. So I think it's really more down to the colour story. So I think it'll be popular with a lot of people. You'll find this really easy to apply, but just make sure your colour tone works with it, because I don't think it's the most flattering one on my skin tone with cool undertones and fair skin. If you've got the cool undertones and you've tried it and it works for you, please let me know. I would love to hear, but it's just not really my favourite. Now for probably the best eyeshadow release for me of the month, and that is the one from Viseart. This is the Midsummer Lumiere. This one is absolutely gorgeous. And this one is probably coming on holiday with me because you can do so many different looks with this. I do apologise about my dogs. It's the Viseart formulas are always absolutely fabulous. You can see me doing several looks with this. I think I did 3 looks with this on my review. So if you want to see a full review of it. And the standout has to be this, even though I love all of them, but this one is the Duochrome. And it is so pretty. I love this one, look at it. It really is quite a special shade. But all of the shimmers in this, that's something that Viseart have really improved on. If you've used their palettes in the past and thought the shimmers weren't that good or the metallics weren't that good, they have absolutely brought them up to the sort of Natasha Denona level now. And for me, their mattes were always the best. So for me, there's nothing better than Viseart. I always say that. You will not find better than Viseart. So there's just a little example of matte with some of the shimmers there. But they are so pretty, and these colours are so perfect for summer, but I think they're also perfect for all year round. So you've got more sort of deep, rich shimmers there. So this would, I think, sieve through to winter. There's that deeper one there. So making a right mess on the back of my hand. But overall, there's just so many beautiful looks, so many one and dones. And you've got inner corner with this one, or this. And then you've got lining shade here, which is a very good lining shade, and so many one and dones as well. Endless possibilities with it. It is just perfect. And I think I said in my review, if you just buy this, you've got everything you need for pretty much the whole year, not just the summer, even though it's called Midsummer Lumiere. But this is perfect. And I'm putting this straight into my travel bag because I think that one has to come with me. So another eyeshadow release which was very, very beautiful was the release from YSL. They launched 4 new shades from their Couture release. So this is the Couture Mini Clutch in the packaging we've now become so familiar with. And this one is number 730. This is Sunrise Safari, and this is beautiful. The topper shades in all of these, they're quite glittery. So I would advise using some sort, oh, they're so soft though. I would advise using some sort of primer so they stick a little bit, but just look at them. They are so pretty, and when you add them over the other shimmer, this one has 2 mattes with the shimmer, but just these 2 together, so beautiful. I loved every look I created with all 4 of these, I have to say. This is the nicest green palette for me. I think this launched this year. That's how good it is. This green, I do hope it will become available to you in the States, because I know it hasn't yet, which must be driving you all around the twist. So please, YSL, launch this in the US as well, because we are able to get this in Europe and the UK. But this green here is so beautiful. And then the one that looks like it's white in the pan is actually more of a minty green. These 2, oh, they are so pretty. And then you've got the dark green matte. I'll just show you what it's getting to my knuckle now. And this is like a khaki, but it's much more of a green than a muddy khaki like the one we got from Lisa Eldridge. So if you're looking for a beautiful, beautiful green eyeshadow quad, for me this is the one. This is the one. And this one, Captivating Dunes. Again, this is a very sort of standard neutral palette, or colour story rather. Look at them. Just look at these formulas. They are so beautiful. I do think this is YSL's best release, these 4 for me. I think they really are so beautiful. I'm making a bit of a mess here because I'm getting a wet hand, so I've just managed to take my matte into the shimmer, so I need to be a bit careful with all these swatches I'm doing, but they are so good. The one I presumed I would dislike, but you asked me to review all 4 when I asked you, so I decided to get it, and that was this one. I thought this is just way too much of a sort of reddish tone for me. This is Majestic Riyadh, and the look I created with this I absolutely loved, which really surprised me. So here is that red sort of metallic, this one here, which is stunning, but I thought it's too much until I put this shimmer over the top of it. So I'll show you the shimmer on its own. There's the shimmer there, it's so pretty. But if you've got fair skin and you think that these reddish tones are too much, you can wear this red all over the lid, and then you can put that topper over it, and then look what happens. It becomes like this. And it's so beautiful. And the mattes, so buttery soft. If you know the YSL formula, they are so buttery, they really are. Beautiful, beautiful, creamy powders. So there is the whole quad there, look at that. And this one really surprised me. It was the least popular out of the four when I did my poll, and I think it's so pretty. Really, really surprised me. It's gorgeous. But it slightly got gazumped by a launch that came from YSL, I think within 24 hours of me reviewing those four. And I'm dipping into my travel bag because I've already packed this one in my travel bag, and that was this one. This one, I can't remember the name. Have I written it down? It's 825. Nope, I haven't written down the name. I keep doing this. I do apologise. But anyway, it's 825. You can't really not find it if you know the one, because it's the only one with this cover, which I think is so pretty. But this colour story is sensational, mostly because of the shade here though, which is the sort of duochrome shifty shade, which I've worn a few times, and you've asked me pretty much every time I've had it on, you've asked me what's on your eyes, and it's this. Look at this shade. I mean, it's worth getting this just for this shade here. This is a beautiful, beautiful summer colour story, it really is. So there is the full palette. So you can see that the mattes are not too strong, they're quite soft, but that duochrome is just wow, it is something special. And this creates a beautiful, beautiful summer look for me. I love the packaging, love the formulas, love the colours and that duochrome. So this one is my favourite from all of those, but YSL for me, this is their best launch ever, along with those four. They really are stunning. And if I had to pick from the four, it would be the Unexplored Garden, and probably second I would give it to Captivating Dunes, but also maybe Majestic Riyadh would tie with it, which was a real surprise for me. But I wouldn't get Majestic Riyadh and that limited edition one I just showed you. I'd get one or the other because they are a little bit similar, and the limited edition one is slightly more special, but they are both gorgeous and you will not be disappointed. I do believe the Majestic Riyadh might be one of the ones still not available in the US as well, so apologies for you still waiting. Hopefully you'll be getting them. And along with that collection, we got these from YSL, which is a formula I thought was new, but it's not. They've released these before, it's just different packaging, and I think even one of these shades might have been launched before. So this is the Inks Vinyl Cream, and this is, I've got Nude Champion and I've got Espresso Kiss, which was both of the shades that launched. I'm a little bit loath to put it on my hand to show you because they really hang around, so I'll show you very quickly the two of them. So it's Espresso Kiss and Nude Champion. So this one is the Espresso and then this one is the Nude Kiss. I really like these, but I think that they're quite autumnal. So I don't think they work for me personally. They have stained my hand already, which will tell you about the longevity of these. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure why they launched with the eyeshadow, because for me these are very autumnal and the eyeshadow quad is very summery. You may disagree and think these shades work very well with it, but I don't think they do for me. The one I liked the most was the Nude Champion, and but I did like both. The longevity is very good, very good actually, really long lasting, and the doe foot on it has got that fine tip so you can line with it as well. So they are very good for that. But and they're hydrating and comfortable. But what I found with these, and others have reported that you've had the same experience, is that after about maybe 40 minutes, an hour, it does get a bit tacky and sticky feeling, which not everyone likes. But I did find that if I just put my normal lip balm, which I've always got next to me, on over it, when that happens, it completely vanishes. So it doesn't bother me in the slightest, because really when it reaches that tacky stage, it means you're losing the hydration properties from the product. So you should really be hydrating your lips at that stage. So for me, it's almost like when it goes sticky, it's telling you time to hydrate your lips. And when you do, the sticky feeling goes. So it doesn't bother me in the slightest. But if you're not somebody who likes to reapply lip balms throughout the day, then maybe you would not want them for that reason. But the packaging, so pretty. And when you put them together, they make a heart. So win-win. if you're obsessed with hearts like I am. So with the Dior launch, we had these butters. So the full title being the Lip Glow Butter. These had very mixed reviews, didn't they? Because some of you thought the packaging was really cheap. Some of you quite liked the charm. I think for me, I don't mind the packaging because this is standard packaging for a lip butter. And I think it's quite a preferred packaging as in the way it applies. And I've seen similar complaints about the Charlotte Tilbury ones that are coming out, which again are going to have this sort of plastic tube. But this is how all lip butters are, all of them are, and I don't really see the issue with any of these luxury brands coming out with the same style packaging, because this is a packaging that works. This sort of material holds the product nicely, makes it very easy to apply. So I don't have a problem with that at all. My problem with these though is the price, because the packaging is the same and the product itself is pretty much the same. I don't know why they have to be so highly priced. I think they're roughly the same price as the blush, and I would expect to pay a lot less for something like this over the blush. So I do think that they should be half the price. I suppose adding the little Dior charm might be one of the reasons they've done that, but it's not like it's silver or something. But some people have suggested taking these out when you finish and you could reuse them, maybe even make a necklace out of them was one of the suggestions I had, or maybe hang it on your earrings. But remember, they're not silver, so for me personally, I can only wear real silver, so I wouldn't be able to do that. But I do like them. These are quite a grippy, thick formula, so I find them very hydrating, which I really like. One I will show you though is this one, because I did think the colour of this one was quite wonderful, and this one is the lavender one. This was the standout for me, because I don't think you get lip butters with this sort of glow in these packaging, this type of packaging. So I do think that's quite a fabulous sparkly lavender. So I did think that one was really, really, really pretty. And that's probably the one, I probably will take that on holiday, you know. I think I will. And Westman Atelier launched some lip liners. I picked up 4 shades, and my favourite ones that I've reached for the most, funnily enough, Petal. I do love Petal. I've talked about Petal, the blush, the highlighter, the lipstick. Now we have the liner and the lip gloss we also have. So here is the Petal liner. These are very creamy. These you need to sharpen. They last very well. They're very easy to apply, very easy to blend out. They don't bleed at all. You can wear them all over the lip. And they also launched 4 new shades in my favourite matte formula ever, which is their suede, their matte suede. I love the packaging on these. I love the embossing on these. I love the formula. I love the creaminess. I just adore them. I really adore them. And the new shade I got, and I've just shown you, yeah, it's the right one, sorry, that I like to use with Petal is Rose. Obviously this goes very nicely with their Petal lipstick. It looks really beautiful with this new shade Rose. So that is probably my favourite combination from their new releases. But my second favourite combination, and these have both sat on my desk and I've done them quite a few times now, is this one, which I'm told by a lovely lady in Paris, if you're watching, Danny, that you pronounce this cuckoo. I thought it was cow or something, I don't know. Anyways, cuckoo apparently. So this shade here, and I like this with the new lip shade, I'll probably say this one wrong now, Ren, R-E-I-N-E. So have I said that one wrong, Danny? Please let me know. And here is this one. So this is more of a neutral look. But both of these are so pretty. I love these combinations. You can't really see an awful lot of difference there, but trust me, Petal has more of a pink in it. So I just get up a bit closer. So you can see these are more neutral. Adorable formulas. You can see the way I feel when I touch them and look at them. I love them so much, but they look gorgeous. Lovely for an evening look. And I think I'm probably going to want to take both of those on my holiday, but I do feel that neutral one is less sort of holiday-like. So I'm probably going to take, this is helping me pack, you know, this video, because I've got this bag next to me and I'm deciding as I go along here. So I'm going to take Petal and I'm going to take Rose. I'm just making sure I've got the right ones. And they're going in my travel bag, which is getting fuller as we speak. And Lisa Eldridge, when she launched her new eyeshadow, she launched 3 new shades in her Rouge Experience. I just got the refills to pop in the cases, which I've now done. And I'm showing you the 2 I like the most, which is Ray, which for me is going to be an autumn shade. Actually, I'm just not showing you the ones I like the most because I have all three. I thought I'd put one of them away. So Ray, which is a really deep one, which I'd use more in autumn. Toasted, which would work, I think, all year round as a neutral. I will show you them now. I'm swatching them on my hand. And then the last one is Lily, which is Lisa's nickname. And this one is a red, but a gorgeous red. A red that really works for me. So here is Lily, Toasted, and then this one here, which is Ray. So for me, this would be my autumn colour. Toasted is just a neutral that goes with anything all year round. And then Lily, I think, again, would work. It's a very nice autumnal red, isn't it? I don't know about a summer red. I do feel these are autumnal shades, to be honest. Autumnal / winter. So I don't could be taking any of those on holiday with me because they don't speak of sort of summery shades. And that's the sort of colours I'll be wearing with my clothes. But I think in the autumn all three of those are going to go into regular use. I love the formula. I do love that packaging, which is super pricey, but I think it's about 25, is it, for the refill, and then 50 for the case. So what you can do, which I like to do, is you can buy one case maybe, and then you can buy a favourite shade for each season, and then you can just pop the refill in, because each refill comes with a cap to keep it from drying out, and then you can just pop it in the case and use it for the seasons. So that's a good way of saving money and still buying the refills. And you can personalise them, as I've shown you before, with your initials, and you still get Lisa's initials on the other end if you're wondering. I also looked at this month the puffer glosses from Valentino because they sent me them very kindly in PR, and I was really impressed with these, and I'm very glad they sent them to me in PR because I kept going to buy them, and then I got this email saying they were going to send them to me, so I didn't because I really wanted to try the pinks. This one though surprised me because I do like this one. Have I written down the shade? I haven't. No, I can't read it without glasses, I don't think. I've actually got on my desk a magnifying glass instead of glasses, so I don't need to put glasses on to read everything. I still can't see the shade. It just has the number actually, 520R. But this one, because it's so dark, is a really good one if you want to cool down a lipstick. So if like me, you don't like things that are too warm, this is a really good, because I always top things with a sort of lip gloss. I generally do anyway. So that's a really good shade for doing that. So it's giving you that hydration. It's a very thick, lasting hydration. It's one of the best ones I've tried actually for hydration and for the feel on your lips. These are so beautiful. They really did impress me quite a lot. And this one is the clear one, so you can use that obviously over all of them. I can't speak today. You can use those over all looks. And then we had these two pink ones, one that's sparkly and one that's more, well, not matte, but non-sparkly, however we phrase that. The pink, you can really see the pink in this. It's like a milky pink. I'm feeling the formula now. It is so good. It is a very, very nice formula. I think I might take one of these with me on holiday as well, you know. I'll have to revise this bag probably, go back and take a few things out. But here is the milky one, and here's the shimmery one. Do you know, I think I might go with a milky one for my holiday, because I do like having, I've got a lovely milky lilac I use from Makeup Forever, and this milky pink I think is going to be really nice on top of a lot of my summer holiday lipsticks. But this formula is very long lasting, very, very long lasting. One of the best lasting hydrating glosses I've ever tried actually. That's how good they are. And I also was sent from Lancôme their Juicy Tubes, which all of you probably know very well. I think these were a big hit in the 90s and they've brought them back. And shock horror, I didn't have these in the 90s. I was actually somebody who was obsessed with the Body Shop lip balms. I used to get the cherry one. I don't know if anyone remembers. Do anyone remember Morello Cherry? Oh my goodness. Anyway, I've always been obsessed with lip balms, and somehow these passed me by. I don't know how, but they sent me these. They've sent me another one, another pink one, the lighter pink one, more sparkly. And that one isn't here because I've just used it endlessly since getting it. That along with my Fenty lip oils. I keep them next to me when I'm working, and I literally go in and out of the two all the time because I think these might even top the Ole Henriksen for me in terms of really grippy hydration. And they also have, and also these glittery ones, you can really see the glitter. Because I forgot I put one on the other day, and I was looking in the mirror thinking, oh, my lips look really nice and pretty. What have I done? I couldn't remember, and I realised I just grabbed the the lighter pink that I've got of the Lancôme pinks. Like, have I written down? No, I haven't written down the numbers, honestly. I've done a very poor job here. You'll have to forgive me because I am up to my eyeballs with filming just before going on holiday, getting house ready, dogs ready, packing ready. Husband is away till we leave, so I'm doing it on my own. And I'm trying to film 4 videos to go out while I'm away, plus film up until I go away. So it's a little bit bonkers and my head's a bit scrambled. So this video is probably not the best one I've ever put out for a monthly review, so please forgive me. But anyway, this one's called Miracle and this one's called Pure. I don't have the other lighter pink one with me now because I keep using it. But these are so, so good. And I don't think I'd take these ones on holiday because I'm going to be taking a new one I'm just starting to try, which I'll introduce to you after my holiday if it works. But that one's actually got SPF in it, so probably a bit more useful to me to go for an SPF one when I'm out and about in the sun. But for the house, absolutely adore those Lancôme ones, and I'm so glad. And now I'm as obsessed as you all were in the 90s, I think. And I also tried a mascara from e.l.f., the Incredi Curl, and when I tried this, I was so blown away by it. I thought it was absolutely amazing for first use. And I did say normally mascaras by their 3rd day come into their own, that's when they get good. So if it's this good on the 1st day, this is going to be amazing. It didn't smudge, it lasted all day. I only needed 1 coat to get incredible curl. It gave me everything I could possibly want. But the tragic news with this is by day 3 it got horrible, and by day 4 it just got thicker and it was just uncomfortable and I was getting chunks coming off, and I am literally going to put this in the bin. So that was a very bad review and I am sorry, but this started off on day 1 as I thought this could be it, as the most amazing mascara from an affordable brand I've ever tried, but it's actually dreadful. After day 3, for me it was anyway. I will never put it on my eyes again, it was so bad. And the very last thing to talk about, which was a massive hit for me, and this is 100% coming on holiday with me, and that is the Tarte Mask Fit Setting Spray. So this one is waterproof. I think it's waterproof up to an hour, if you're swimming, that is. And it also says it's chlorine proof from what I remember. But I love this. I don't actually have a setting spray on, so let me put some on. It's quite a strange spray, this one. It's got this very wide way of spraying, so when you spray, let me do it now so I can sort of explain. You sort of feel it hit the top of your head and the bottom, but it's almost like it misses the middle. It's a very strange spray, but that's not an issue. It's a fine mist, so I can put quite a bit, and because I feel like certain bits got missed, I can just go lower like this, and then I've covered everything. And it's going to give me nice hydration. I've put loads on now, so it's pouring off me. But anyway, this dries down without me needing to powder it actually, and it locks in. It's really done a fabulous job of keeping my makeup there all day, and it's really comfortable. I can't think of anything bad to say about it. It doesn't upset my makeup, it's not sticky, I don't have to powder, it gives me a tiny bit of a glow, which looks like a huge glow now whilst I'm wet, but like I said, that will go. And also it's waterproof, so this is 100% coming on holiday, and I'm going to test it. I'm actually going to test it with another one, which I won't review yet, because I'm testing out the one size powder melt. So this is probably one I would use more for keeping my makeup to look nice in the evening, whereas this would be more going out and about when I'm active. But I think what I will do is when I'm having an active day that's not quite as active, so if we're having sort of a hotel day when we're not going out because we tend to hire cars and go off and explore a lot, so if we're having a day where we're just going for short walks and things, I'll probably just go with this one because I want to test them both in the heat. And this one is more about, for me, perfecting your makeup. But this, so far, I won't go into it because this will come in my July review, but so far I'm absolutely loving this one. But I'm going to take both of them on holiday, so I can tell you. But I can definitely tell you this one is fantastic and I love it, and it's super affordable. And from the Tarte things I tried, which was that foundation, the concealer and this is the standout for me, and those were the 3 new products. I did actually try a few other Tarte products in my review, but they were older products. I'm very impressed with those as well, by the way, especially the lip product. Have I got that one sitting here? I do actually. This lip product. I love this actually. I don't know why I didn't mention it in this review. Obviously I haven't written it down. These are the Glow Water Tint, I think they're called, or Tarte Water Tint. So these have a tint, they do last quite a long time, but they're also hydrating. The packaging is beautiful, so I really like that. And I think I might have got some sort of cheek product as well, but I can't even remember. Honestly, I'm useless today. If I took a photo on my desk, you would have a fit. Anyway, but that is the last thing I'm showing you. So you can see now it's already starting to dry down, and it's just given me a nice, healthy, natural glow, and it just feels perfect. There's zero stickiness. It's so good. I really, really, really love it. So definitely recommend this one, and it's super affordable. So that's in the holiday bag, along with the one size, which won't go in yet because I think I'll be using that for the flight day. Actually, no, this one needs to stay on my desk because I will need this for flight day, because I need something that's a bit more locked in. So don't put that in your bag yet, Hannah. So there we go. That is the end of my month update for you. So not quite as packed and not quite as crazy as last month, but lots and lots of beautiful successes, and I found some absolute favourites. So especially that Dior combination, which has become my all-time favourite blush combination, and also the concealer I showed you from Tarte, which has become my favourite concealer of the year for sure. So lots of really pretty things. Eyeshadows, the Viseart ones, the YSL, stunning. But anyway, what have you thought of everything I've shown you this month? Have you tried any of these things that I've shown you? Have you had any different results to me? Have you loved things I haven't loved? Have you hated things I have loved? I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts. Is there anything you've been waiting for my review, the end of month review, that you were thinking of getting? Have you now thought, I don't think I'll bother, or whatever you're thinking? I would really be interested to hear your thoughts. I just wanted to say generally thank you to all of you for being such a fabulous community. You probably saw recently I put a post out showing how I hit the 20,000 subscriber mark recently, which I'm so delighted with, but it's obviously all down to you for subscribing and supporting me, and it really means the world to me. You are all such supportive, wonderful people, and that's the best part of my job, is getting to know all of you and just enjoying chatting to you and comparing notes and learning from each other. And making friends. It really is a beautiful part of this job, and the best part. And I did also say I would do a Q&A session if you wanted me to, and I think the feedback on that post was pretty much yes. So do let me know now in the comments as well if you would like that, and while I'm away I'll probably put a post up asking you for questions if I think you would like that, and then when I get back from holiday I will do a Q&A video if you'd like me to. So please do let me know in the comments about that as well. But anyway, that is all from me for now, and I think I might have one more video coming out before I go away, but as I was said earlier, I am filming plenty, so you will still see me throughout the week when I'm away, so it will be like I'm still here really, and I'm sure I'll have Wi-Fi. We're going to Cyprus, and certainly when we're in Greece, which is quite near to Cyprus, we always get really good Wi-Fi, so I'm sure it'll be fine, and I'll be able to log in and check and reply. I just might not be quite as quick or on the ball as I normally am, but my videos will be going out regularly, and I will hopefully still be replying to you. But if I do miss you by any chance, that's why, and I apologise. And one thing as well, which is a bit strange, is I always get an email when I get a comment, and for some reason over the last 48 hours YouTube haven't emailed me anything when I'm getting comments, and so it must be some sort of fault. So I'm having to go and find them through YouTube Studio, which I can do, but it doesn't always give me all of them. So if I am missing any comments, please do know I'm not ignoring you. It's just because there's some sort of fault at the moment. So I apologise if you've said anything and I haven't replied to you. Please do say it again. Maybe shout at me a bit louder, and hopefully I'll see it in the comment section. So I do apologise if that's happened. But anyway, that's all from me for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do hit the like button, and if you're not subscribed, I would love it ever so much if you did subscribe. But if you already are, you're at the end of a very long video and another monthly review, so I really appreciate you for being here. I really, really do. And I hope to see all of you again for my next video. Take care everybody. Bye.